friends, Kelly here. Welcome back to my channel. I started filming a process for this next tag and my phone cut out and lost all the footage. So I'm starting over and I'm just going to catch you up to speed on where I left off, and then I'll jump back into the process. But I wanted to just kind of show you what I'm working on. I've gone ahead and created my tag, and I've created this little pocket at the bottom with just a piece of scrap paper. And then I have an Instax photo here of some wildflowers that I had taken a photo of. And I have this book. So last summer, I became kind of enamored with wildflowers. I keep seeing them in the ditches. I was up at the cabin and I was on a run and I see all these beautiful flowers in the ditch, and they're wildflowers. And I just something about it kept sparking this desire to learn more about wildflowers. You know, often we look at them and we just think they're weeds, but they're put there for a purpose. They're beautiful. So I picked up this very not gently used book, Wildflowers of Minnesota, because that's where I live. And I took this photo, and to the best of my ability, I believe what I'm looking at is this here, which is the Pearly Everlasting. So I just find it really interesting and fun, and I'm probably going to dive into a lot more informative books, but I just loved having this little hand guide, this little field guide. So I believe that's what this is, so I'm going to go with it. So I have my information here, and I've just backed this little Instax photo with a piece of scrap paper, and then I've used this little bit here to create a tag. So I have this, and I made the little pocket. All I did was run a very fine line of glue with my fine line bottle all the way around the edges. So I have my little photo, which will just get tucked right in there as of now. The other thing that I did, which I would have done off camera anyhow, is that I typed out some information on the back and a bit of journaling. Now I have a very old typewriter. I have a vintage Remington. It's heavy, heavy, heavy. So I'm kind of contemplating if I'm going to do a lot of typing in the future, I'm thinking about getting something a little bit more lightweight, perhaps, and modern. So if you have a typewriter that's not an old vintage one, but like maybe that We Are Memories typecast, I think is what it's called. If you have one of those, would you drop me a comment and let me know your thoughts? Because I think I might be biting the bullet on that one. So anyway, I typed out the name of the flower, the family it's from, the height, which I messed up, don't care. Typed its habitat, which I find is very interesting, and it of course went right off the tag, and so did a little of my journaling. I don't care. I have said it hundreds of times in this channel. I just don't care about perfection. So that's where I have left it off. I am going to go ahead and resume my process here, and I'll let you know how it goes. So the first thing before I go any further is I've realized that this is actually not a Pearly Everlasting. The flowers are not the same. So I did a little more research and realized that this is actually called a Prairie Fleabane. I believe that's the closest I could find to it. So I'm not sure if I'm going to go back and fix that. I probably won't. I think it's kind of funny, actually. So anyway, okay, back into the process here. So this tag comes together super simple once I've gotten to this point. I've gone into that little pack of ephemera, which I believe is the One Canoe 2. I can't think of the collection, but I'll link it below. And I've just pulled out this big butterfly. And then I'm going to go through the rest of all of the die cuts that I have printed and cut myself, the majority of them at least. And I'm just going to go through and kind of take a peek at what I have. What I'm really looking for are just more butterflies. So I'm going to go through them all. I don't think you need to watch me do that. So I've pulled out all the butterflies and I'm just testing out a few of them. Now, when I cut these butterflies out on my silhouette, I did go ahead and do duplicates and I mirrored them so that I'd have them facing both ways. I really feel like for me, sometimes things got to be facing the right way in my brain. I don't know. Maybe you're like me and you do that too. I don't know. But I've got my little butterflies placed, and now I'm grabbing these puffy stickers because I kind of want to do a sentiment on the front, but the puffy sticker sentiment just didn't work for me. It was just a little too modern compared to the vintage look I have going with the paper and everything else. So I settled on the little puffy black heart. And next I've pulled out my stamps. I just want a small sentiment that I'm going to put right here on the bottom of the Instax photo. So I've just grabbed some scratch paper and I'm going to use my VersaFine black ink. I love this ink for fine details. I mean, that's what its purpose is. But it's reliable. Every single time I use it, I have really good results. So I highly recommend this ink, especially if you're stamping small details or sentiments. So now I've just gone ahead, stamped that off, and I'm just going to tear the paper just to give it a bit more texture and kind of keep with that more free-flowing, vintagey, kind of whatever style I've got going on here. Next, I'm going to pull out another stamp set because I want to add some background to the white tag. It was just looking a little stark. And while I know you're not going to really see much of it, I still wanted to just add something that would make it feel like it had just some texture or just something else happening. So I'm going to use some stamping, but I didn't love the yellow. I want to use green because it's representing leaves. So I've pulled out my little swatch book. Now this was a simple project that I sat down one day to make. I took just heavy white cardstock. I kind of made it into a grid, and then I found a geometric shape that gave me a nice, good, solid sample of the ink. So this is a circle, and then I just stamped off all my ink colors and cut it apart, put it on that little ring, and then I just hand wrote all of the titles of my inks, and that way I can easily add to it without having to have a big bulky book or anything else. I've just got it sitting right in with my inks, quick, easy to grab, and then I can also really position it right into the project to kind of check colors. So that's my little tip for you on ink swatch books. So I've gone ahead and stamped off the green leaves, and then I'm going to use this little flower head in the yellow just to kind of give it a little pop there and kind of represent the photo of the wrong flower that I probably will never change. I do go back here and I want to add one more that's just going to peek out the top of the Instax photo. I want to be able to see that. And then just to carry that through and have it make sense, I added the flower head to the back of the tag as well. So that's pretty much it. Like I said, this tag came together really quickly. I love how it turned out. I loved using the typing. Even though I made the mistake of the wrong flower, it's kind of a learning process. Like identifying these flowers is kind of not easy. But I learned a lot through that process. So here is a photo of the finished product. And again, just adding that little pocket and the little detail of the butterflies. I loved how it turned out. It's going to be really hard to not add photos to every single one of the tags going forward. And I'm going to try real hard not to. So thanks again, friends, for following along with this and watching my video. And if you liked this video, I would love for you to give this video a thumbs up. I wonder how many more times I could say video. If you wouldn't mind, subscribe to my channel if you like the content that I produce. And then don't forget to hit that bell so you're getting reminders when new videos are posted. Thanks again, friends, and I'll see you next time.